Hello and a very warm welcome to EANM TV. We are live at CCIB here in Barcelona, Spain. On the first morning after the night before, if you were at the drinks reception last night, you will realize just how massive it was. I have never seen so many people, and to do canapes for thousands, that was quite an achievement in itself. So a great night was had by all, and looking around this morning, there are some people looking a little bit jaded because it was a late night for a lot of people. What we're going to do this morning is we've been joined by Arturo Chiti, Esther Pilla and Riemer Slart, who are all involved in the publications side of EANM. And Arturo, if I can start with you, please. Huge changes, and I can't get my head around what has actually happened. It's massively important, obviously, to EANM. So can you tell us what the latest news is on the new publications and the new journals?
Yeah, good morning, and thank you for inviting us. So the main changes is that we just started 2 new journals. These new EANM journals, they both have EANM in the name, so this to underline that these are our journals. These journals are going to be our way to communicate with the nuclear medicine community and the outside world.
So what is different? Because they were Springer related before, so what has actually changed and why does that matter?
So before, the journal was not owned by EANM, you know the name. Now we own our journals. They are EANM property, and we have a publisher, Elsevier, that is...
So what do they do?
Elsevier, yeah. They are doing the everything that it you know, in old days was just printing.
All right, so it's distribution.
Distribution, and also, of course, they also are on board on strategy-related issues and so on. But anyhow, the decision-making is EANM.
Right, so in terms of the journals, what are the 2 different journals?
So first of all, let me say that there is not a first journal and second journal. They are 2 journals with the same rights, the same visibility, but with different scopes. So the EANM Journal is, let's say, the flagship journal, but has as a mission to become the leader journal in nuclear medicine and everything which is related to
remain as the leader.
Yeah, good point. You know, because what is happening is that nowadays many of our colleagues, they publish on other not nuclear medicine journals, because they are well-established journal or whatever. So we want those papers to come back to our community. So this means that we will be very selective and very clinical oriented. EANM Innovation is the journal that has to cover everything which is related to nuclear medicine.
Okay, so Riemer, if I can ask you, tell us more about EANM Innovation.
Yes, thank you very much, Roy. Also, good morning. Yes, that's my new task as the editor of the EANM Innovation. It's more a broad journal style. So
you're not constrained in the same way that you might have been in the past.
Yeah, it's more or less we combine it. It's clinical studies we want to include here, but also preclinical studies. Technical studies are very important. It's not only for the physicists, it's also for the biologists, radiochemists, radiopharmacists. All these colleagues are welcome for this innovation journal.
So how would people have accessed this type of topic in the past? Would it have been dispersed in lots of places, so you're bringing it all together?
Yeah, that's a good point. You really have to search a little bit more for a journal. Where do you want to put your specific nuclear topic? But in the EANM Innovation, everything could fit. Could be clinical study, preclinical studies, but also very preclinical studies. They fit in this EANM Innovation Journal.
Okay, so how exciting is it for you? Because I know it's hard work.
It's really exciting. It's particularly to start up and to get the first papers, and that's coming in now already. We're very happy with that. And the first are also published now online, so we're very proud on that. So it's going pretty rapidly now at this moment.
Well, it hasn't been going for very long, and we have a new face Esther, Esther Pilla. Tell us what your role is. You're trying to manage these cats who are trying to do all their own things.
I'm just behind the scenes, as
No,
I say.
you're not. No, I need to say that you're the editor-in-chief for this, or the editorial manager.
I'm the editorial manager,
Yeah.
yes.
So what is your role?
I am literally behind the scenes everywhere. So my role is to support the editors, the authors, reviewers, associate editors, and readers. So I am there to help every step of the way.
So you all work for EANM now. That's the difference. So you work for EANM.
I work for the EANM Executive Office,
Right.
yes, and I was employed to launch the journals and then manage the journals. Practically what I do is support the authors in their submission, help reviewers complete their reviews if there's any help needed, and I am the point of contact with Elsevier, so dealing with everything after an article is accepted. But practically, I also support authors during revision if it's needed, if there are any questions about the status of the manuscript, the point of contact between all the actors involved, the editors, authors, reviewers.
Scientific publishing isn't new to you. That is your background.
Yeah.
How have you seen this evolve and change in more recent years? Because technology has completely changed the scene.
New technologies have definitely made it so that the scientific publishing world is exploding in recent years. We have a massive increase in the number of publications, and the publishing world is trying to keep up with it, but it's difficult. So there is a shortage of reviewers, there is an increase in AI use in publishing.
Now, it's funny you mention AI, because I've heard that there is now AI slop being submitted to all sorts of journals. How do you identify it, and how do you deal with it? I mean, I know of an organization that had a publication that was almost certainly AI generated. They wanted it to be added to their website. They said, it doesn't matter if it's only for a very short period, which I thought was a red flag in itself. So how do you deal with this?
There are ways that publishers and journals can try and identify
Are they
AI
secret,
generated.
or are you going to tell us how you do it?
Different publishers and different journals make use of different tools. Many are still being developed because AI was faster. So AI content has developed faster than the AI needed to detect AI-generated content. So it's difficult to keep up with it. But Arturo knows a lot about it.
Yeah,
as well.
I have a friend who's a professor, not in medical, and they put stuff through at the university, and she showed me some stuff, and it was amazing. And this was like 3 or 4 years ago, before ChatGPT came along and became mainstream. So what do you actually do, Arturo? Have you developed a sixth sense?
No, you know, there are several issues. The simpler one is plagiarism. Now we have tools to detect plagiarism, but I
Copy
see
and
that,
pasting,
yeah,
just basic.
copy and paste, and also for images. Images is more difficult to recognize, so this means that you use an image to publish 10 articles, the same image, or you modify the image, and article A is image in one color, and then article B you just modify a little bit and you publish the same one. So these are all ways to do fake publications.
I can see this as a minefield, because in the past, you know, anybody who was good at things like Photoshop would be able to do all sorts of amazing things. So now with Photoshop and AI,
yeah, it's easy.
how do you deal with it?
So now you can still recognize. I don't think that it will last a lot, because, you know, as Esther said, the AI, the large language models, they become better and better, and so to have a large language models identifying the AI generated text, it's going to be a vicious circle. And I think that in the long run, we really have to change the rules on how we assess papers, how we assess scientific publication, and we have to really give a strong incentive to ethics, because it will be difficult to face the technological improvements.
And I guess the level of trust of the author is going to become far more important.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking about AI earlier on, just generally, and as if by magic, Arturo just took this out of his case, which is a paper about scientific fraud. I haven't had time to read it yet, but you know, it is something that you're very aware of.
If you were a large language model, you would have read already.
But actually, Riemer, in terms of the journal that you're responsible for with innovation, I would imagine there's a lot more material that has the potential for AI generation, because you're dealing with things that have never existed before. So it's all new. So how much of a problem is it for you?
Yeah, no, thank you. That's a very good remark. We also have looked at the other side of AI, the positive side. This moment we also receive a lot of papers that apply AI for better medical reconstruction of data. So it's a very important tool these days. If you look at the submissions now, I think 1/3 is AI based in a positive way that we can use for new methods.
So use as a foundation.
To use it, yeah, and to quantify your pet data, AI methods, segmentation systems. It's all AI based these days, and many papers are based on that. And that's a very positive side, so I also want to underline that.
All right, because I was talking to somebody at the drinks reception last night who's involved in the AI committee here at EANM and working with industry and working in research to see how to integrate it more so that it provides a far more robust approach to the use of AI.
Yeah.
I mean, Esther, if we can go back to the publishing environment that you're in, and this is all very, very new. Can you tell us a little bit about any of the new things, I mean, awards and stuff like that are being planned that would be of interest to people watching now?
Yes, definitely. So from the next year, from 2026, we are planning on launching the EANM Alavi-Carlsen Award. That will be, it's designed to recognize the work of outstanding young professionals under the age of 38. And we want to invest in young professionals, recognize their hard work, and so they will be awarded a monetary prize for further scientific development and training. And we will talk more about this in upcoming sessions and events that are planned here.
All right, so what sort of response are you getting from young professionals? Because I've kind of been involved with some of the young researcher programs and things, and the quality of the people is outstanding, and the quality of their presentations is often outstanding. But in the past, the attention was very often given to eminent scholars rather than young people. So how is that shifting?
I think the trend is shifting. More and more I see young authors as being the lead authors in studies that are coming, for example, to our journals. So definitely we see in our journals the trend being more towards the recognition of the young professionals, the young authors.
What advice would you give to young professionals? A number I've spoken to have felt intimidated. They've said that it's too soon in my career to put my head up and say that I've got something new and special to say, so they hold back. When in fact they might have some really interesting work that needs an audience.
Well, I encourage everyone to talk to us. They can talk to these fantastic editors who are always available. And actually, I encourage young authors in particular to come to our Bring Your Abstract events that we have planned Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They can discuss their publication or papers they may have ready with the editors-in-chief to see if they're suitable for one of our journals, and also get some tips for publication. And we are always, always happy to hear from prospective authors. We are also very happy to engage young professionals as new reviewers, because we need reviewers and we need the perspective of young professionals.
So what does a young professional who's very busy, not only are they starting their career, they might be starting a family, so do they really want to sit down for hours on end and reading, you know, a stack of papers?
Well, as I always like to say, reviewers are really the workforce and the beating heart of scientific publication. We need their expertise because they are the people who help us shape nuclear medicine. It is a demand of their time, but ultimately it is also a recognition of their work.
Give a brief sales pitch on why somebody should volunteer to be a reviewer.
Well, excellent reviewers will in the coming years be recognized in a variety of ways that we haven't actually properly planned yet, but we want to make recognition of reviewers one of the strong points of our new journals, because we know how important it is to borrow their expertise to advance scientific
To
publication.
listen to younger people. Now,
Yes,
that's
we need their
a
perspective.
trend that hasn't happened a great deal in many different industries and professions. Arturo, looking around, and this has been commented on by a number of other people, that there is a massive influx of people from China and the rest of Asia here at this Congress. And I know we've had conversations in the past of how Chinese researchers have really struggled with the European process of peer-reviewed journals. What progress has been made for that? Because I know a lot of journals, a lot of submissions come from Asia these days. Can you bring us up to date on what the latest is with that?
But we are growing together, and I think that the whole world, also those who were not used to this
Process
to the
is
process,
a very clear process.
now they embrace that, and I think that it's really something that now is live in their mindset. So I think that
So massive progress in the last 3 years or so.
yeah, definitely. They worked hard in order to be, let's say, in line with what was expected by the publishing world. If I just may add something regarding the reviewers, for a very young professional, doing reviews is also a way to become more acknowledged of what is going on. So it's also
It's an educational process.
An educational
as well,
process, because when you have to criticize the others' work, so you start thinking about to assess. Yes, to assess. You're right. Some other words, you start thinking on how to assess your own work.
Okay, so Riemer, what observations have you made about the changes and the evolution of publishing and the way that people review?
It's a process that really depends on the paper and on the people you find. The first step is already which review really fits this paper. If you send or submitted your request to a review is not in the field, you cannot return quickly. So you really have to focus well which reviewer in my list could do this review, because you want also a high quality review. That's important, because you want a high quality answer to the authors. You also deserve that.
You've just picked up, if I can pick up on a point that you just made about speed, because you're now running your own journals, does that make a difference to how quickly you can turn things around?
Yes, we are committed to having a fast and efficient process for our authors and for our readers.
Because that's always been a huge frustration, hasn't it?
I mean, unfortunately, we are in a time where we face a shortage of reviewers, so it isn't always easy to be able to guarantee as fast a process as we would like, but we are trying to expedite the process at various bottlenecks. So we try and assign a manuscript as fast as possible to the editors, and invite reviewers as quickly as possible, give them a window to provide their comments that is as fast track as possible for the authors. And then once an article is accepted, for example, we try and have it online as soon as possible.
All right. Publishing has always been the black and white, it's the ink on the paper, and now it's online and everything, and it can be very, very dry, and it has to be because it's scientific. But communication of the latest research can be done in so many different ways, and one of the ways that more and more associations are now waking up to, and I have to say, I think rather late in the game, is podcasting. Podcasting is, in my view, one of the most valuable potential things that that any association can do to share knowledge and bring things to life. You are starting a podcast. Yes. Where are you at with the podcast? I'm so excited for you.
Thank you, we are too. We are planning on launching the podcast, the EANM podcast, in 2026, and we are currently looking for the voice of this podcast.
The presenter. So
yes.
if you think that you would like to be a radio presenter effectively.
Yes.
You have to know what you're doing, you
Yeah.
have to know the subject,
Yeah.
but sometimes I find that, as you know, I'm not medical, but sometimes it's nice to not know too much about a topic, because then you can bring it out. So what do you want people to do, A, to contribute, and B, to be the voice of the podcast?
Well, ideally, the speaker would have some knowledge of nuclear medicine.
They would have to,
Yeah.
yes. They're an EANM member after all.
We would need someone who's comfortable with public speaking, ideally with some video or radio experience, although it's not a must, and some availability to travel regularly to Vienna, where we will likely record the podcast. So we have recently launched a call for The Voice, and we are hoping to get more applications after this interview.
All right.
Please feel free to contact us at the editorial office email address. And
Fantastic.
we hope to be able to launch next year.
Give us some idea of what the podcast is going to feature and how it's going to work. I know these things evolve, but
Yeah.
what's your starting point?
Well, we would like to have a speaker as a kind of a moderator, and then one or two guests discussing a hot topic. So whether that could be one of the most recently published articles in one of our journals, for example, or a topic of relevance in general to nuclear medicine, not necessarily only medical related, but could be policy as well. So in general, we want to be the new voice of nuclear medicine.
And the great thing about podcasting is that everybody is so busy,
Yeah.
but there's this time where you're traveling to or from work, or you're in between things.
Yeah.
So many millions of people listen to podcasts. So
Yeah.
I'm very hopeful that you'll have a really successful podcast.
Thank you.
Can I just say thank you so much for explaining all of the developments in the publication side and the journals. I wish you well with all of them. Thank you very much. It's been great. That's it from us for EANM TV today. Have a great day today, and I will see you at the next EANM TV. Goodbye.